Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into one of Python's most versatile and powerful data structures, the dictionary. Now, you might be comfortable with lists, right? Storing items in order, accessing them with numbers like 0, 1, 2. But what happens when those numbers don't really mean anything? What if you want to store information like user profiles, game scores, or configuration settings? Where you need to look things up by a name or a label, not just a position? Trying to manage that kind of related data in a simple list can get messy. Fast. You end up trying to remember, oh yeah, index 1 is the age, index 2 is the job title. It's like trying to find a definition in a book with no index. Frustrating. Well, fear not. Python has a fantastic solution. The dictionary. Think of it as a super-powered digital version of a real-world dictionary, or maybe even a super-organized filing cabinet. By the end of this video, you'll understand why dictionaries are awesome, how to use them effectively, and when they are the perfect tool for the job. Stick around, because this is fundamental Python knowledge. Let's get started. Alright, let's fire up VS Code. So, the core idea behind a dictionary is storing information in key-value pairs. Instead of an index number, you have a unique key that you use to look up its corresponding value. Let's imagine we're creating a simple profile for a user. How would we do that with a dictionary? We start with curly braces, open and close. That's the signal to Python. Hey, a dictionary is coming. See? Empty curly braces mean an empty dictionary. Now, let's add some info. The key comes first, followed by a colon, then the value. Keys are often strings, but they can be other immutable types like numbers or tuples. Let's use strings for clarity. Okay, pause right there. See what we did? Name is a key, and its value is Alice. Age is a key, value is 30. Occupation is a key, value is data scientist. Each key value is an item, and they're separated by commas. The keys must be unique within a dictionary. You can't have two keys called name. It wouldn't make sense, right? Like having two identical entries for the same word in a real dictionary. The values, however, can be anything. Strings, numbers, lists, even other dictionaries. Now, let's print user profile, and there it is. Our dictionary holding structured information. Much clearer than just Alice, 30, data scientist, isn't it? You know exactly what each piece of data represents because of the keys. So we've stored the data. How do we get it back out? We use the keys. It's like asking the dictionary, hey, what's the value associated with this specific key? Accessing values. To get Alice's name, we use square brackets, similar to lists, but instead of an index number, we put the key inside. User name, now user profile, name, print, f user's name, username. Boom, it gives us Alice. Let's get the age. User age, user profile, age, print, f user's age, user age. Easy peasy. But what happens if we try to access a key that doesn't exist? Let's try asking for, say, location. Whoops, a key error. Python is telling us, hey, I looked but there's no key named location in this dictionary. This is important. Accessing a non-existent key directly like this will crash your program if you're not careful. Luckily, there's a safer, more polite way to ask the get method. User location, return user profile.get location. Print ff user's location using get user location. See that? Instead of crushing, get function just returned none because the key wasn't found. Much better. You can even provide a default value to return if the key is missing. User location default equals user profile dot get location comma. not specified specified it. The default key we are providing. Actually, what is happening is that get method first tries to find the key we provided. If it is found in the dictionary, it return the value. But if not, it then return the default value. Print f uses location with default, user location default. Now it returns not specified. Super useful for handling potentially missing data gracefully. Adding and updating items. Print the profile before adding location. Type print, open parenthesis, then add F for formatted string. Inside double quotes, write before adding location. Then use curly braces, user profile to include the dictionary. Close the quotes and the parenthesis. Add the location to the dictionary. Type user.profile location equals New York. This adds a new key location with the value New York. Print the profile after adding location. Again, use print F after adding location, user profile. Same format as before. The updated dictionary will now include the location. Now run the code, see? Location. New York is now part of our dictionary. Python just adds it in. What about updating? Maybe Alice got promoted. Let's change her occupation. We use the same syntax. Assigning a value to an existing key will just overwrite the old value. Type user profile, then in square brackets write occupation inside quotes. After the equal sign, type lead data scientist in quotes. This adds or updates the occupation in the user's profile. Print the updated profile after promotion. Type print, then F for formatting, open parenthesis. Inside double quotes write, after promotion, then use user profile inside curly braces to show the current dictionary. Close the quotes and the parenthesis. Run the code now. And just like that, her title is updated. Simple and intuitive. Removing items. Sometimes you need to remove information. Maybe the age key isn't needed anymore. There are a couple of ways to do this. The most direct way is using the DL keyword. Print the profile before removing age, type print, add F for string formatting, open parenthesis. Inside double quotes, write before removing age, and inside curly braces, user profile, show the current dictionary. Delete the age from the dictionary. Type del, then user to profile, age. This removes the key age and its value from the dictionary. Print the profile after removing age. Again, type print for and after removing age, user but profile, to show the updated dictionary without the age. Now, run the code, poof. The age key and its value are gone. Be careful though. Just like accessing, using del on a non-existent key will cause a key error. Another useful method is .pop. It removes the item and returns the value that was removed, which can be handy if you need to use that value immediately. Let's add email first, just to remove it later using pop function. Add email to the dictionary. Type user to profile. Email equals alice@example.com. This creates a new key email with the value alice@example.com. Print the dictionary after adding email. Type print, then F for formatting, open parenthesis. Thais, inside double quotes write, added email, and inside curly braces, user profile, show the updated dictionary. Remove the email using pop. Type removed, email equals user profile, .pop, open email close. This removes the email key from the dictionary and saves its value into the variable removed email. Print the value that was removed. Type print, value removed by pop, removed email, to show what was taken out. Print the dictionary after removal. Type print, F dictionary after pop, user profile, to see the updated dictionary without the email. Now run the code. See, pop email, remove the email entry, but it also gave us back the email address itself, which we stored in removed-h-keymail. If you try to.pop, a key that doesn't exist, you'll get a key error unless you provide a default value as a second argument, like user edge profile, pop, non-existent, checking key, nothing found. Alright, let's pause there for today. Now, you might be thinking, okay, I can manage individual items, but how do I work with all the data? How do I loop through a dictionary or check what keys are available? Great questions. Don't worry. That's exactly what we'll cover in part 2 of this dictionary series, coming very soon. But before you go, here's a little challenge to test what you've learned today. Create a dictionary representing a simple product in an online store. Include keys like product name, price, and stock quantity. Give them some initial values. Print the initial price. Imagine a sale. Update the price to be 10% lower than the original price. Add a new key value pair. On sale. True. Print the entire updated dictionary. Try it out yourself. It's a great way to practice the core operations we covered today. Post your solutions or any questions you have in the comments below. I'd love to see what you come up with. That's all for part 1 on the power of Python dictionaries. I hope you found this introduction clear and helpful. Remember, understanding dictionaries is crucial for leveling up your Python skills. If you enjoyed this video and learned something new, please hit that like button. It makes a huge difference. And subscribe if you haven't already, so you catch part 2 and all my future Python tutorials. Thanks so much for watching. Keep practicing, happy coding, and I'll see you in the next video.